Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Women of CIBN series. I'm your host, Tiff Loeffler, positively yours. And today I have with me the transcendent Terry Wildemann. She hails from Rhode Island, and I am so excited to showcase how amazing she is. She is the founder of Intuitive Leadership. She's the creator of the Shiftology Process. We're going to get into that in a minute. She has amazing card decks. I am so excited to talk about this. For 39 years, Terry Wildemann has helped entrepreneurs, executives, and high-performing professionals identify the internal patterns that influence leadership decisions, communications, and business growth. Her leadership tools help strengthen insight, communication, and decision-making. And I am so thrilled to have you here. Terry, thank you for joining us for our official first inaugural interview. Welcome.
Yay! I'm so excited. And I'm so excited for you and for CIBN because this is such a beautiful series to be featuring the powerhouses, the powerhouse women that are part of CIBN. And I'm just so grateful to be your opener for the series.
Yes. I feel it deserves a round of applause. There must be round of applause. Thank you. Thank you. Now, Terry, I just learned something about you that I find fascinating, and I would love to start with, well, the beginning. You say it's been 39 years, and you started as an image consultant. Would you be so kind as to share a couple thoughts about that time?
Oh, gosh. Yes. 39 years ago, after I had my baby, I needed to do something. I gave up my business, got married, got pregnant immediately. And I was like, okay, I need to do something else. So I learned about image consulting. We were living in the Washington, D.C. area at the time. And I've always loved dressing and professional, always looking good. People used to say, oh, Terry, you always dress so nice, blah, 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 blah. And I learned about this industry, image consulting, which was relatively new at that time, very new at that time. And I found just the person that I wanted to train with. And sure enough, I took my baby with me. And we went to school once a week, a couple times a week, actually. And when she was 3 months old, she was the youngest graduate of the image consulting school that I attended. And what I loved about it was not only was I able to teach women how to really dress well on the outside with the colors that worked great for their skin tones and their body shapes. And I did hair and makeup and all this wonderful stuff. And I did it for 20-some years. And it was a small part of what started this business that I'm in right now, because it's all about personal and professional development. People started calling me to teach customer service. And then I got into the leadership piece of it and communications, and then certifications in my holistic work. With stress management with the Heart Math Institute, and then EFT and tapping, and then got certified in body code and emotion code. And I became a Reiki master in 1998. So it was the beginning, Image Plus Associates was really the beginning of my harmonizing the practical, tactical, and logical with the emotional, the energetic, the spiritual, and the intuitive. And that is what I teach CEOs, change makers, and founders. Because when they work with their teams, and I'm all about teams, when they make their decisions, they are in a very different place versus only the practical and tactical part of their brain. They're also in the heart-centered part. And when you merge them both, you're a powerhouse.
Yes. Oh, yes to the power. I love that. And thank you for sharing. And I just love that thought about, you had this new baby, and that new baby got immersed in all of that beautiful environment of, hey, let's just feel our best and look our best. And I think that's a lovely.
And she is a powerhouse.
Yes.
She is. She's a commander in the Navy. she's a powerhouse.
I I would say yes, absolutely. Oh, you just know, which is so cool. And now you're the founder of Intuitive Leadership.
Mm-hmm.
And
yes, Image Plus Associates was the precursor to Intuitive Leadership. I opened a leadership school in 2001. And from 2001 to 2009, I had the Winds of Change Holistic Education and Leadership Center. And that's where we worked with entrepreneurs and military professionals and all kinds of folks in doing what I love to do, which was integrating the practical, tactical, and logical with the emotional, the energetic, the spiritual, and the intuitive. And it was really a lot of fun to guide these leaders and to hear, to experience the wake-up calls that they would have, watch their faces like, oh. And a few people said I was ahead of my time, because a lot of the going into the heart-centered space wasn't as accepted then. And, the stress management part of coherence, there's a lot more science now than there was at that time. And people would always say, Terry, you're so ahead of your time. I'm like, well, what can I tell you? It's just the way it is. It's my time now. Right, Tiff?
Yes, it is. I love that. Yes, it is our time now.
Yeah.
And I love that you are so, how do I say this? Because your core group is for CEOs. That's who your core audience is. But I also love that you had mentioned it's not just a CEO of a huge corporation. For you, could you offer for everyone, because this isn't like, oh, well, it's just not for me. Not at all. Terry, could you talk about what you mean by a CEO, by a leader?
Okay.
Very important.
First of all, we all have leadership tendencies. Okay, every single one of us. So somebody may say, well, I'm just a mom. Do you have any idea how important it is from a leadership perspective when you're a mom? You are leading your children. You're leading your spouse in different ways. He or she is leading you. Leadership is a part of our world, and it encompasses how you act, how you feel, and your thoughts and emotions. All of that is part of leadership. And it can be something as simple as seeing a child crying on the sidewalk and stepping up and taking care of that child and asking what's going on, finding out what's happening. That's a form of leadership. As well as in the workplace, you notice that something is off with one of your employees, and having empathy and compassion to be able to go up to that employee and say, is everything okay? What can I do to help you? I'm noticing something is a little bit different, and opening the door to allowing the employee to talk. One of the things that I've learned over the years is the leader. There's a difference between leadership and management. First of all, before I go to that, leadership is the emotional side, it's the compassionate side, and management is the practical, tactical, and logical side. Leadership brings both of it in. And when you are a leader who truly gets it, that the emotional and the practical can have a space in running a business, you're in a space where you create a team that can trust and respect one another. It can be challenging. And when somebody brings me in to work with their team, change takes time. And it also is about creating trust first. So when you merge all of it together and the culture has trust and the team members feel comfortable sharing their thoughts, their feelings, and their emotions as they work on the practical, tactical, and logical. Because let's face it, when you're sitting in a boardroom or when you're sitting in a team meeting and something is brought up and your intuition is screaming and you want to say yes or no to something, that is a very important tool. And when the leadership in an organization allows their people to work with their intuition versus poo-pooing it, that's where the magic happens with growth in an organization, both on a personal level as well as in the sales and the HR, throughout the entire organization. It works. So it is about creating trust on every single level. And that's what leadership is all about. Great leaders know how to do that.
Thank you. That was such a magnificent definition and example setting and modeling. And now, just because the word intuition has come up, and I just love whenever I'm with Terry, there's just all this, wait a minute, have you been reading my mind? Get out of my mind. Wait, don't get out of my mind. Because the word intuition has been popping up a lot for me personally, and I love, and we're going to get to your cards in just a moment. Terry, could you help me with a definition of intuition? Because I've had like several, but I like the way you describe it. If you wouldn't mind sharing, when you say intuition, how can someone say, okay, what does that mean for me?
Okay. Intuition is different for everyone. Okay? Some people, they get images in their heads. Other people can hear information that is downloaded. Other folks, they feel it. They just, their body, they say maybe their solar plexus or their heart, they just know. And other folks, or the point I was going to say with the I know, that's the clairsentient. So the clairvoyant is the images, the clairaudient is what you hear, clairsentient is what you feel, claircognizant is what you know. And all of us work with intuition a little bit differently. With me, it started with what I was hearing, and then it grew into what I was seeing. So I get downloaded images all the time. And when I work with folks, my solar plexus is my key to telling me when something works and something doesn't work. And I work with muscle testing quite a bit. And I muscle test everything. I work with muscle testing on just about everything from decision making of any kind to, is this the right recipe that I'm supposed to be making for dinner tonight? That kind of thing. So it's just a wonderful tool to use to help with decision making.
Thank you. And everybody, the reason I had Terry explain that, and you did it, I really appreciate it, because so often I've heard intuition, it's intuition. Like you can't, but it was almost like it was a one size fits all, like intuition is just intuition, but it's like nobody would. So thank you for giving us the different examples. And everyone, I want us to just take a moment and just think, that is so cool. It's just nice to take a breath and take that in, that we all have intuition, we cultivate it in different ways, we discover it in different ways. Mm-hmm. I feel, Terry, could I be so bold as it's just very important to know that we have it.
Yes.
To lean into it and to not be afraid of it, to trust ourselves.
Well, intuition is a God-given gift. And unfortunately, a lot of us, anytime we spoke from an intuitive place, it got knocked out of us as a child because people were scared of it. They thought it would, it was woo-woo and, and maybe I call it practical woo. It is so important. And when you look at the titans in industry, every single one of them use intuition. Every single one of them. And it's really important to recognize that, Tesla was a real big one when it came to intuition. And, when you have these titans of industry talking about intuition, who are we not to acknowledge it for ourselves? Why not?
Yes.
It's huge.
Oh, I love that. It's like the what if and why not? Come on.
Exactly. Because what your intuition does, and okay, say we're in a boardroom. Okay, I'm going to go back to the board, to a meeting. I'm going to go back to the meeting thing. Here's where intuition fits. Say you're working on a project. And we all have different behavior styles, by the way. Behavior styles fall into this too. So say there's somebody who is very short, sweet, to the point, and they throw an idea out. And you're working with it, and you're getting images, and, you just know something is right about that. But the other folks are arguing against it. What that does is it gives you permission to ask open-ended questions, to break it out even more and more. And you can say something like, I really like that idea. It feels really good. Let's ask open-ended questions and figure out how it fits into this area or this area, and keep asking questions and asking questions. And that's why intuition is so powerful, because when we listen to that inner guidance, it takes us to the end result that we're looking for. And it's, instead of us running away from it, we're running towards it. And when we run towards our intuition, we allow ourselves the opportunity to really take whatever it is that we're working with to the next level.
Love that. Thank you. Because I love the up level. I love that.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've heard the phrase new level, new devil. And I like to say new level, new bevel, because each new level, I think of it like a diamond. You keep polishing a different part of it, and it's all good. It's just,
It is.
you're just building upon your experience, and this intuition is so fabulous. And before we even started this conversation, Terry was showcasing her fantastic card deck, which I can't wait. I'm gonna make sure that I share that. I gotta share that first, because everyone, I put a QR code up there. So if you have your phone handy, if you're not on your phone, don't worry. It's in the description. And we're also going to have a little banner underneath in just a moment. But that QR code will take you to her card decks, which we're going to talk about next, because I'm just too excited. And now I'm going to make sure that I pop that banner up, because it's cardsshiftology.com. And when you click on that link that's down in the description, you're just going to be thrilled, because I am. And I love that you don't have just one deck, you have several. And I really would love to share that today with everyone. And you grabbed out of the 5 2 card decks and pulled a card. And before we get to that, silly me, I got ahead of myself, but happily, I can take a breath and say, wait a minute. Terry, I love how you described the purpose of these card decks. Would you be so kind as to share with us why card decks are such a fantastic medium for decision making? Thank you.
Well, instead of writing another book, because I've written 2 solo books and I'm in 7 co-authored books, I really was not in the mood to write another book. I took a sabbatical. My dad had just passed away. It'll be 3 years in June 9th. And I just needed time to myself, because it was after 20 years of caregiving. I just wanted to regroup, and I wanted to create a card deck for my retreat that was happening later in the fall. And I created the Unlock the Power in You card deck. And you can tell I use it a lot. And the name of the retreat is Unlock the Power in You. And it was meant to be a gift for the people who attend. So anybody who buys any of my services, the higher end services, the collection was part of theirs. But it didn't start as a physical card deck. These started as virtual card decks. So they are, you can go online, you can go on a phone, you can go on a tablet. Yeah. And that's how they all started. They all started as a virtual card deck. And so what we did was, and I should have had this up, but I didn't. There we go. So, see?
Let me.
There we are.
Yes. That is so awesome.
They're all on here. There they are. My card decks. And that's how they started. So, and the goal of having the virtual card decks was that, I don't know about you, but these are heavy. Okay, these weigh a ton, you know? And you can always get decision-making guidance in the palm of your hand or in a tablet. They're not ready for, it's not available on the website, but it's your phone or a tablet. And what I love about these, and the first one that we picked out was, and you and I played with it in the physical, the first deck, as I mentioned, was Unlock the Power in You.
Yes.
And once I finished this deck, it was wild how intuitively I saw the next deck. And I was like, are you kidding me? Do I really need to do another deck? These take a long time. There's 60 cards in here, all the editing, all the design work. I mean, it's like, I'm like, really? Guides, universe, God, you know, do you really want me to do a second one?
Okay.
And I did. And I did the second one, which was intuitive leadership. And what I realized was after I did intuitive leadership, and here's intuitive leadership, and again, it's also virtual. It was like, are you kidding me? There's a third one?
Yes. Yes, there is.
Yeah, there was. And then that's when Shiftology came in. And the Shiftology logo is the winged unicorn because we're different. And the winged unicorn can see from 30,000 feet up and at ground level. Shiftology is the art of conscious transformation. And the winged unicorn is unique. It's valuable and conscious, and it is very insightful. It's magical. And leaders who work with the practical, tactical, and logical, as well as the spiritual, the intuitive, the emotional, when they work with all sides of themselves together, they're magical. They create conscious transformation. So that's what this deck was about. And then Powered by Angels came up. And it's like, that because I work with I work with these things every day, and I have been for a very long time. And so these weren't going to be chapters in my book. And instead, they became interactive card decks for entrepreneurs and leaders. And so here's the Powered by Angels. And you say, angels? Well, they're archangels for leaders. And there's 14 archangels. And we pulled out a card before we started. And
yeah, I was like, yes.
We pulled.
Oh, let me showcase it. I just love the images. Gorgeous.
It was Archangel Chamuel. And by the way, this is an international card deck. We have all of the archangels represent a different culture. So it's a blast. I had a good time making these. And Chamuel is the heart-centered harmonizer. And the back is, we talk about the symbol, strengthen emotional bonds and leadership. And the message is that Chamuel helps you deepen emotional connections with your team to nurture trust, loyalty, and joy. And the message here is to take a few moments in an upcoming meeting to genuinely check in with your team on an emotional level. Show empathy and care. And that's what we were talking about earlier. And the mantra for the day would be, I nurture emotional bonds that inspire trust, loyalty, and growth. So this may be a card that you pull and you're like, oh my God, I have to talk with this person. They're not fulfilling, their performance isn't where it needs to be. What if you pulled this card? What do you think would happen, Tiff?
Well, I feel what happens is, and I'm just, in my heart, I just feel like it's bringing us into the moment. Mm-hmm. And it's bringing empathy on a conscious level instead of having stuff spinning in the background. And that's just what I feel like. I just think it's so nice that it's right at your fingertips. Yep. To have the empathetic and the practical. I hope that was somewhat good.
And that's perfect. And to have the card decks in front of you, we just finished printing all of these, by the way. I did not plan on doing 5 card decks. Trust me on that. Well, the last deck, the 5th one, I have, when you go to the website, there is a shelf. And on the shelf are the 5 card decks. Well, I finished the 4, and I thought I was done, right? And I kept seeing this light gray box at the end going, what? There's another one? I gotta tell you, by this time I was exasperated. And I remember sitting at the kitchen table going, all right, guys, you've got to talk to me here because I can't take this 5th card deck out of my mind. All I kept seeing were my 4 beautiful card decks and then this grayed out box. And I sat there and went, oh, I got it. And all of these are a product of mine, by the way, that I've already been teaching each of these chapters. So all of the information that's in here is stuff that I already have been working with for decades. Well, it was interesting because there was a workshop that I could never really quite get off the ground. And all of a sudden it hit me. That's what the 5th card deck was. Vision and Vibe. And it's the image are all lighthouses. And they work with I am statements. So these are all the beautiful, look at these lighthouses. They're just stunning. And when I made these, this is out of this world goals. They're just beautiful, beautiful lighthouses. And why did I choose the lighthouse for the vision and vibe? Because each and every one of us are a lighthouse. And when we work with our vision and elevate our vibration, it all comes to fruition. Thus, vision and vibe. We are the lighthouse. We are stationary. We are shining the light out on those who we are meant to work with. And we are conscious transformers. It is the art of conscious transformation. And we chose a card. We picked up a card before we started the podcast. And the card that we chose was this one, which is one of my favorite. Ironically, it was intuition. Imagine that, Tiff. And the I am statement is, I am listening to my inner voice and following where it leads. Imagine that.
And I got to tell you, when you pulled that card, I was like, wait, what? Out of all the cards, it was that word. And the word intuition. And I just think that is so kismet, so serendipitous. And that's one of the things I love about your card decks is that instead of having to, I mean, books are great, and maybe trying to read through some notes, or maybe trying to find something, a visual, maybe something on social media or YouTube. It's all great. And also, what if you just have in the palm of your hand, either through your phone or in person, you can pull a card. And I just love how it just gets right to the point in a beautiful way.
Well, I'd love to show you this. The online decks have a shuffle feature. And it's my favorite fun thing to do. So here I am in Vision and Vibe. I'm going to pull one card. I'm going to hit start. And what came up? Oh, business career came up. Okay. I'm going to spin this around. I am thriving in my career, blending purpose with success. And you take this with you all day. But now we want to add another card. You hit the plus sign here. Okay, I want to do another card, but what I want to do is I want to shuffle them.
Oh, that's awesome.
Isn't that fun?
That is awesome.
And then you play again. Let's see what the next one is. I'm going to do a quick, it says quick draw. I'm going to do a quick draw. Let's see which one pops up. Oh, that's a pretty one. Family and friends. That's the deck that came up. Okay, and on the back it says, I am giving and receiving kindness, warmth, and understanding. So imagine you just had a fight with your significant other, okay? And this is the card you pull. Okay, I need a shift. I'm giving and receiving kindness, warmth, and understanding. Was I very understanding this morning? Not really. That kind of thing. So that's how these cards were built to work with daily life for leaders, CEOs, and founders. Now, what's really cool about this is you can save these every day, and you can actually journal in the virtual deck. Yeah.
Okay, I've got to put this up again because the banner, because I just love this. Okay, ladies and the gentlemen who are showing up to watch this, thank you also. Everybody, I love this way of connecting the intuitive part of us. That's simple and effective, can I say? I love that. And I really appreciate that you took the time and you leaned into the guides who said, you know, we've got maybe more than one available. If you could be so kind as to create this, thank you. And I thank you. And I'm going to get that QR code up again just because it's just fun. It's just fun to show everybody, hey, different ways.
And there's more coming next year. I put the kibosh on making any more in 2026. I can't do this. But the next one is the Golden Wisdom deck. And I'll share with you how that came up. And it's the Golden Acorn Wisdom deck.
Oh, I love that. Okay, talk about that.
I'd love to share with you how that came about.
Yes, please.
I am in the process of getting certified as a NeuroChange Solutions consultant with Dr. Joe Dispenza. I needed another certification like a hole in the head, right? Anyway, I was in one of his retreats, and this was in Cancun. And he was talking all about, it was a 10-day retreat, and the last 3 days were all about abundance. And he did a meditation, an abundance meditation. We were talking about prosperity. And I'm thinking, okay, this is right up my alley. This is the stuff that I teach, right? Well, he asked in the beginning of the meditation to come up with a symbol. What is your abundance symbol? And I thought it would be the winged unicorn, or it would be my heart, or it would be something that, the lighthouse, the different things that I've been working with. No, not at all. In the meditation, from the right side of my vision, in the meditation, out came a little acorn, and it stopped right smack in front of me, and it turned golden. And from that golden acorn grew a oak tree. That oak tree, on the trunk of the oak tree, was intuitive leadership, which is my business. And then the branches went out this way, and it said Shiftology on the sides of every single branch. And then all of my card decks were hanging like fruit from all of the branches. And I heard the words, the card decks are the foundation of your business. And I came out of that meditation blown away, because the card decks are meant to be used with communication, with leadership, with team building, with really helping in a person's personal and professional development. And when I came home right away, actually when I went back to the room, I created in Canva the tree with the whole image that I had, because I wanted to make sure I remembered it clearly. And I kept thinking, God, there's a lot more than 5 card decks. And that's when I realized I'm going to be creating more in 2027. So the next in the next group, it's going to start off with the Golden Acorn Wisdom deck. So yeah, there we are.
Okay, everybody, I just have to say that is just so cool, as if there wasn't enough awesomeness in these card decks. Now there's going to be another one, and I'm so thrilled, and I am so glad that you are here with us. I wanted to take this moment for the thanks to CIBN for having this series, and I am excited because we're going to have more of these, and would love to have you check us out on YouTube. You're on YouTube right now. Up there is the like and subscribe. So again, I just want to make sure that I said that, because I just love this. And we are talking with Terry Wildemann, and I love that we're talking about the card decks. And I want to make sure that now I would love to talk about Shiftology for a bit, if you don't mind, because you shared that with me at Divine Timing, and using it, it's so amazing. If you wouldn't mind, has this happened to you people? Okay, someone offers you something and it's very simple, and then you think, I've probably heard this before, it's so simple, it's just too simple, I don't know if that's gonna work. And I just have to laugh because at myself lovingly, yes, it does work. Simple is wonderful. Terry, what would you like to share with us? Because it's going to tie into the gift that you're offering us, which is tremendous. Remember, people, that's coming up. Could you tell us a little bit about Shiftology and why simple is powerful? And leaders need to have simple, powerful tools. Well, thank you.
Well, the free tool that I'm offering is the quick shift technique. It's the quick shift zone. So you're going to be getting that. It's free, quickshiftzone.com. This tool is incredibly powerful, because Shiftology is all about inner change, inner transformation. And in the moment, with stress, especially, the world is a very stressful place. It always has been. It's nothing new. The world has always been a stressful place. People say, oh, how bad it is. Oh, imagine you were in World War I or World War II, or imagine the Civil War. I mean, hey, trust me, the world is always stressful. But what's the common denominator? It's us and our ability to regulate our systems. Okay, it's about being coherent. And when we connect the brain and the head with the brain and the heart, we're in a very coherent space. The heart organ, which a lot of people don't realize this, actually sends more messages to the brain than the brain does to the heart. The heart is a brain, and you can measure the electrical field from the heart 6 to 10 feet away from the body in a 360-degree circumference. The energy circumference of the brain is just 2 inches. So when people say, I really felt that probably came from the heart space. So that's why it's important to integrate with the practical, tactical, and logical mind, the emotional, the energetic, and the spiritual heart. And when we connect both, you are coherent, and decision-making gets a lot easier. So the specific tool for the quick shift zone is 4 simple steps where you take deep breaths, get very comfortable in your chair, you take a deep breath, you focus on this part of the body, you think of something that makes you feel really, really good. And when you do that, you're actually dropping your cortisol levels in stress management and increasing your DHEA levels, which is the good hormone. Then, once you finish breathing in and out of your heart space, and you're just relaxing every part of your body, think of something that makes you feel really good. And what that does is it increases your DHEA levels as it's lowering the cortisol levels. And then the last piece is to just sit there for a few moments and just stay neutral and allow any information to come that needs to come. And then you're done. And it's 60 seconds. If you keep practicing it over and over and over again, you literally will be able to do it like that. I do it constantly. Like when you're in traffic and somebody cuts you off, you know you need to get your stress levels in control, because if not, the cortisol goes bing! And high cortisol. And the reason I did this, by the way, was because yours truly burned out multiple times. High cortisol contributes to that, and it all has to do with how you choose to perceive the world. If you choose to perceive the world as negative all the time, you're attracting more of that. We're getting into law of attraction. You're attracting more of that. But when you perceive the world as a kind place, a good place, more of that starts to come to you. Perception is huge, huge. And an example that I use with perception is there's a car, there are 4 people standing at an intersection. A car goes into the middle of the intersection and there's an accident. Every single one of those 4 people have a different perception of what is happening with that car accident based on where they were standing. When you put all of those perceptions together, then you have the facts of what actually happened. And a lot of us make decisions and judgments based on not having all the facts. We knee-jerk. And I didn't share this with you, Tiff, but my degree is in criminal justice. And I was in law enforcement in my early to mid-20s, late 20s. I got out of law enforcement at the age of 27. And the one thing that I take away, and it's funny because a lot of my clients call me the intuitive truth detective. Those skill sets help me understand that what you see may not be true. What you hear may not be true. What other people are telling you may not be true. It's their perception. So when we stay in a neutral space, which breathing deeply and going into the heart allows us to do, to stay neutral, it then takes us to a space where we can ask the open-ended questions to get to the truth of what it is that we need to do, to get to the next open-ended question, to get to the next answer, to attract the right solutions. That's what quick shift does. And I quick shift before I get out of bed in the morning. I quick shift as I'm brushing my teeth. And at the end of the quick shift zone, it's an e-guide. There'll be a page that has bookmarks in it. Cut up the bookmarks. I think there's 3 of them back there. Put one on your bathroom mirror, one on your refrigerator, one on next to your computer, one in the car, one in your purse. Cut up those bookmarks and have it with you everywhere you go and practice the quick shift. Because when you do that, you get healthier and healthier and healthier physically, mentally, and emotionally.
I agree. And I am so grateful that you shared that with me. And everyone, as we're talking, I'm thinking, we don't want to do the shoulds. Because when was I thinking I should have done it more? Now, Terry, I'm bringing that word in because I appreciate that you understand how important language is. I really appreciate that you talked about perspectives. Everyone, we do live in our own crazy times, right? And also, it is essential for our personal health, our overall wellness, to not be so reactionary in a harmful way that we don't take a moment for ourselves. And right away, what did I do? I just thought, I should be doing this more. And I didn't think should was that.
You just use the word should.
Exactly. So talk about the word should for just a minute, because I love the way you talk about it. I'm like, I got to hear this again. Okay.
Well, I'm all about language, especially because law of attraction is a big deal to me. And I got certified in law of attraction a while back, and I love law of attraction. I was attracting stuff before I even understood what law of attraction was. I attracted this house that I'm in specific ways, and it's like, how did I do this? Well, that's part of what I teach in my workshops, and I help my leaders to understand. And our language attracts a lot. If we keep saying try, guess what? The word try, there's always a way out. Instead, use the word commit. Think about that. So I invite you, say to yourself, I'm going to try to do this. I'm going to try to take a walk every day. And now say, I commit to taking a walk every day. It's a whole different energy, because that commitment energy is much stronger. It's grounded. When we say I should or you should, my initial response is, who are you to tell me I should? All right? Instead, wouldn't it be great if we did this, or this? Should has an energy about it that is telling people what to do and how to do it. And it depends. If you're coaching somebody and you're talking with them, and say it's a one-on-one coaching session, well, you should do this. I recoil because I don't like that word. I don't like people telling me I should be doing something. Instead, if the coach says to me, what if we did it this way instead? What do you think would happen? What did you do? You turned it into an open-ended question, and you allow your client to be able to answer the question well. Oh, I should have been doing that. You're beating yourself up when you say should. Okay. Oh, I should have done that. Oh, you're beating yourself up. Okay. Instead of I should have done that, it would be, did I listen to my intuition? When I've learned that when I should have done that, you weren't listening to your intuition. There is a big connection between intuition and the should have, would have, could have, because most people who ignore their intuition live to regret it.
Yes. In fact, I want to do a dramatic pause right here.
Yes.
That word regret. I struggle with that word as well. And now I see. Thank you for bringing that word up. Because when you talked about try, that there's always a way out, isn't it interesting how I have in the past not liked the word commit? Because try just seems so much easier.
Yeah.
But if you have always a way out, is that easier? Now I'm curious. So thank you for bringing the curiosity into the language. And the should, I thought, the should isn't that bad. Well, it's not good, because it's providing a way, I don't know what you say, it's like a way of shutting down also. Like,
it can be. The shoulda, woulda, coulda.
Yeah. I like how you said, what would this look like? if
Mm.
we were to, let's just say we were to try it this, not try, let's just say we're doing it this way. See, right away, I love how my brain's saying, wait, the try thing, no. And that commit, let's commit to this and let's imagine what happens. And I love that my brain did not automatically think gloom and doom. It actually went, well, this is a hypothetical and you didn't even give me the scenario, but I'm already thinking of something that would be okay. And I think but to take the moment consciously, everyone, to take the moment, to put yourself lovingly in that space, just right away with Shiftology. So this is where I want to play around with cool tools here. That Terry's gift, this is the QR code right above us.
Mm-hmm.
Feel free to use your phone to click on that. We're also going to put it in the banner, but I want to give you a moment to get out your phone. This is also in the description because this is an amazing gift that Terry has offered us, and I really appreciate it. And if you want to go online, quickshiftZone.com, and that is where you will find this gift. And I so appreciate all of these amazing gifts that you're giving us in this conversation. And I love it. And it's so fun to feel energized by language.
Yeah. And well, there are other words. I just didn't there. Ooh, bad. No. Processing.
That's right.
Can't, don't, not, know are other words to avoid a lot if you can. And what'll happen is when you avoid the words can't, not, and no, and don't in your language, when you see those words in your paragraphs, and I'm not saying always, but when you see these words in your paragraphs, it forces you to rewrite the paragraph and your writing gets so much stronger. It's really cool. It gets a lot stronger. And when I learned that, it was really neat, especially the word no. It's very easy for us to say, no, I'm not going to do that. Okay? That's fine. You have a choice. Either you can say, but this is what I can do.
Mm-hmm.
Or you, as the other person who's listening to this, ask the question, well, what can you do?
Okay, I am interjecting because I'm excited about this part of our conversation. I got to run with it for a moment because how many of us have been told as women that we need to be able to say no? And for some reason now I'm thinking, wait a minute, am I getting it mixed up? Because I've heard so often you have to be able to say no and say no and say no and say no and say no because you're not saying no enough. Now you're getting burned out. Terry, how could you help me with that part? Now,
Yeah.
Here's what you said about no, because I'm like, okay, wait a minute. Wait, what's going on here? I'm curious.
Well, that's what I'm talking about with, it's wonderful to be, okay. I'm going to use a personal example, okay?
Appreciate you.
This is very private. This is very personal. 4 doctors told me I could never have children. Okay? And I intuitively knew that I could. And my husband and I basically said, if I don't get pregnant in the first year, we're just going to start the adoption process. Okay. 3 weeks after we got married, I got pregnant. And my oldest was born 9 months and 2 days after my wedding date. Ah! And then the middle one was born 4 years later. And then I adopted my youngest. And from the age of 8, I always knew that I was going to have 2 and adopt 1. So where does no come in? Because I looked at the doctors and said, no. I am trusting my intuition and saying yes to myself. And by trusting my intuition and saying yes to myself, I have exactly what I imagined at the age of 8 of having 2 children of my own and adopting 1. So it is important to be able to say no. And there's other things going on in my life right now where my husband, for example, is in this organization, and he's now leading the organization. And people have been saying, well, you really should be a member to support him. I already support him a lot. And I'm like, no. And they started calling me the First Lady. No, you're not the First Lady. I said, what I am is his spouse, and I am supporting him. I am not the First Lady of this organization. I am Terry Wildemann. And that's how I said no. And because we're a Navy family. Oh, trust me, I have been by his side for many, many, many deployments, moving. The Navy told us what to do and how to do it, and on and on and on. And now that he's a member of this volunteer organization, they want me to join, and I know myself. I will jump in with both feet, and I have a business to run. I have other things to do. I know I'm not going to go there. Look at me. No, I'm not going to go there. And my husband knows that it's because I'm taking care of myself, and that's a good no. Okay. Now that's a good no. And so what I'm doing is I'm saying no to that and saying yes to myself. So no is a double-sided sword, okay, in how you use it. When you say it with the confidence of, no, I'm not going to be the First Lady. No, I'm not going to get involved with this organization. Thank you very much. I have already given so much of my life to being the First Lady and a commanding officer's wife, that kind of thing, and doing all that with the Navy. No, I'm done.
I'm just so in the zone right now. Thank you for that. Thank you, because maybe what I'm feeling right now is the no was so reactionary. You have to say no. Okay, fine, I'll say no. Instead of intuitively, I am saying no to this because I'm saying yes to this. Mm-hmm. And that feels so much different, and it feels fuller. Well,
it is. I mean, no is one sentence. When people say to you, no is a complete sentence. So when people say, well, don't you know how to say no? Yeah, I know how to say no. And when I say no, usually there's an option. Okay, so the option is, I'm going to use the volunteer organization thing again. The option is, I'm saying yes to myself. The card deck's just launched. I'm saying yes to my business. Perhaps in the near future, I'll join. But don't expect me to be on any committees, or don't expect, I will go and I will do different things and support during certain events. But meetings and that kind of stuff, oh, no, thank you. I'm good. And I will support you any way I can, but do not include me in committees and meetings or anything like that. And that may happen in the fall. So we'll just go from there. So it wasn't this shut, I didn't slam the door shut like the
right.
4 doctors telling me I couldn't have children. Not now. So remember, I just said, don't not know. Okay, I'm going to take that, which I just said, not now, maybe in the future. Instead of saying not now, it would have been better to say maybe in the future.
What I love is this is just a learning. When I say just, it's everything. Life is a learning process. Mm-hmm. And I love, thank you so much for this part of the conversation, because I know how powerful it is for women to be able to use the language, to be intuitive as how you're using it, and to trust yourself. And thank you so much. And I adore you. You know this. Thank you for sharing. What a powerful story, an example. I can't imagine 4 doctors saying that. And
trust me, they were miracles. It was, yeah.
It's just, and I feel like this is celestial service announcement. Everyone, it's so good to stay hydrated. So everyone, just, be sure to take a sip of water now and then.
Well, one of the things to remember too is we are very fortunate that we are living at a time when we have so many tools at our fingertips that help us clear emotional baggage that dogs us.
Mm.
Okay. I EFT, NLP, emotion code, body code, all those things that we have talked about today. The emotions are drivers. And I just had a situation today where, I use EFT and body code and emotion code most these days. And I had a situation today where my husband, uh, he took a fall. He tripped upstairs, and I was downstairs. And the sound, I just took off to get upstairs as fast as I could. And what happened was I had a flashback to when my dad fell, and it was a very traumatic experience. And I realized that I needed to tap it out using EFT. I had to tap out that initial charge, the cortisol, it just flipped me out. That, oh geez, I did that for my dad, and here's my husband basically doing the same thing, and it just really got me this morning. That was just this morning. And he's my husband had surgery on his foot, so he's a little gimpy right now. And I was tapping. I was tapping in my den, working through the emotions that came up because I hadn't realized that I had not let go and healed from the situation with my father. Okay, so how does that affect me as a leader? These emotions, the emotional baggage that you carry, often stops you from crossing the finish line. So you may be so close to success, so very close to success on something, yet the fear of success, not feeling good enough, feeling overwhelmed, whatever any of those are, those get in the way of you going to where you need to be. And life brings you different scenarios to help you clear those emotions out. So I was really glad that I was able to clear that emotion out when my dad was concerned, because there's still a lot of caregiving I need to do for my husband, and I don't want to get triggered like that again. So using EFT and emotion code, I cleared out that episode from this morning. And that's what we use in leadership. And that's what I work in the services that I provide. If you go to my website, intuitiveleadership.com, and then there's a tab that says Work with Terry, I have all kinds of links. I have links to various levels of being able to work with me. And one of the things that I provide is being able to clear out the emotional piece that is dogging you in your leadership. So I just want to share that emotional baggage is really key. And when you say that no, what emotions come up for you? And when you take a tick, to put that in your brain, and when you get in a private area, you can tap it out. And I teach my folks how to do that.
Oh, I just so appreciate that thank you, because I love so much that you brought into the conversation. We are also living in an amazing time. Because we can always talk about everybody's stressed and it's such and also what an amazing time we live in. The age of Aquarius is dawning, and we have all these tools, and we have people that we can connect with, like Terry Wildemann, and we will be sure to have your website also in the description so that people can connect with you.
Yeah, thank you.
And I love that you offered the free gift. Thank you so much. And I love that you also offered a deeper dive into your cards, how they were created, how effective they are. They are just so, and thank you for the beauty of them.
Thank you.
I want to thank you for the beauty of your cards. I wanted to, as we start to wrap up, but I feel like insert whatever group you're from, that type of goodbye where you just, we'll say goodbye for the next half hour. No, but thank you for bringing in beauty. Those cards, that golden deck of cards with the lighthouses is gorgeous. Terry, could you I did not pose this question to you ahead of time, but
Uh,
he is so kind. Yes, I love that. Could you talk just a bit about the importance image consulting? I mean, it started from the beginning, right? It's so nice. Could you please talk about the importance of beauty in our world, no matter what's going on? I just
yeah.
feel it's very important. Celebration, beauty. What are your
Well,
thoughts on that?
I'm glad that you asked that because I'm being given an image that was given earlier, that I got earlier in our conversation. When I was studying heart math, which was in 2001, I got certified as a licensed provider in 2001. There was a video that they created that was magnificent. And this video was of a person sitting on a train and they're going through the city. And the music created an incredible mood. The first time you watch the video, you would see kids jumping rope and it was very negative music. You would see people on the street doing something else and it was very negative music. You would see this and it was very negative music. And you would see something else. So the whole thing was perception. And the person sitting there and the negative music complemented the perspective of everything that they were seeing as they were looking out the window. And it was negative, 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 negative. Then the second part of the video, the exact same train, exact same person, it was a different music set. And it was uplifting, loving, joyful, and the exact same image. It was the exact same video. It was joyful in watching the kids jumping rope. It was beauty in seeing the grocer and people buying food. It was beauty in this. The music set the tone and the stage for perspective. So there's, people, I drive people crazy because sometimes they call me a Pollyanna. I go, no, you have a choice. You want to look at things negative like this? That's on you. That's not me. I choose not to go there. And that heart math video has always stayed with me because of the power behind it. And I loved the use of music, but the person going by, everything was a bother. Everything was negative. Everything was ugly. And just changing the perspective and the music, it was absolutely delicious and heartwarming. It really was. And it was the exact same video.
That is thank you for that. This is a magnificent way to wrap up this. Oh, it's just been epic. Thank you for the gorgeous reminder that it is.
So I invite everybody to be a lighthouse, number one. Stand strong and call people and things to you. Be the lighthouse. That light, that wisdom, that heart. The lighthouse is in your heart. Feel it. Be it. Own it. Become the winged unicorn. Have the ability to fly 30,000 feet up and be able to also be at ground level and see everything from a 360 perspective instead of being a sheeple and following it. And sheeple is, you just follow what anybody says. Make up your own mind. Listen to your inner guidance system. Unlock your inner power, your heart. Unlock your heart, okay? When you unlock your heart and you allow these wonderful intuitive hits to come through, you're in a great place. It allows you to lead intuitively and create a powerful culture and a powerful team. And lastly, when you trust the angels, and they're, like I said, they're all from different cultures. When you trust the angels, you get inner wisdom that takes you to where you're meant to be, to guide your team to a magnificent place where they can create solutions easily, sometimes not so easily, but they create solutions by trusting themselves and their inner wisdom. So that's what all these decks do. And along with the energy psychology tools of EFT, NLP, emotion code, body code, Reiki, all that stuff. And that's what I'm saying. It's such a magnificent time because all of those tools are being downloaded to different people around the world. A new energy psychology tool is coming to the forefront constantly. And it's absolutely fantastic to see so many people who are stepping into this to heal themselves so that they can heal others.
That is just, mwah. It's just, I want to say yummy. Thank you for those yummy card decks. I'm so excited about the shuffle feature now. And thank you for that free gift. And thank you for this incredible, I mean, this was definitely a power hour to be sure. And I'm just, woo, I just love it. And thank you everyone for joining us. And please be sure to like and subscribe. Terry Wildemann, I cannot thank you enough. I'm going to do my best for, the round of applause again.
Well, Tiff, you're a bright light. You're a lighthouse.
Thank you. I look forward to talking to you soon, Terry. And I want to thank everybody for being here. There is more to come. Right now, I am going to once more thank the incredible Terry Wildemann. Thank you for that gift. Everyone, it's in the description. Be sure to like and subscribe to this channel because this is part of a series. And I'm Tiff Loeffler on behalf of all of the Women of CIBN and this Women of CIBN series. We look forward to seeing you next time. Thank you and ciao for now because I love to eat and I hate to say goodbyes. That's why I like to say ciao for now. Bye, everybody.